Our next speaker is the Vice President of Global Solution Marketing at Unify and is also the Managing Director of FastViewer. He will give us a presentation on the ecosystem, a driver for powerful collaboration. Please welcome Jan Hickisch.
So first of all, thanks a lot for the opportunity to speak here. I really enjoyed the time last time in Portugal. And those who were there probably remember that I was talking about contextual collaboration, right? So for those who are now looking into the printed version of the agenda, you will find the same title. I'm not going to do the same thing again. That was an example that we missed context, right? We would have had the context in place. We would not have had that wrong title in, but we were able to correct it because we were applying the context. And here we go. I'm today here talking about the ecosystem, which is hopefully enabling a powerful and natural collaboration. And yeah, I just go and start and continue. When we look to ecosystems, first of all, what ecosystems do we know? There are biological ecosystems. So for instance, a reef is an ecosystem where fishes and water and certain other elements are belonging to each other and are heavily depending on each other. There are software ecosystems, there are identity ecosystems, there are business ecosystems. So there are a lot of ecosystems. So when we now look to collaboration and communication, probably it's worthwhile to spend a little bit time on the definition of what an ecosystem should be. And now we are ready to go, which is great. And I'm immediately switching to a definition of an ecosystem with, let's say in brackets, biological ecosystem. It's a combination, it's a community of organic, living things and things which are not living. So to say, it could be salt, it could be water, it could be oil, when we come from a, let's say, biological explanation. I would recommend that we as vendors, collaboration, unified communications, communication vendors, we at least sometimes think about that definition because at the end we are working for our customers, we are delivering solutions for our customers and they are the living part of it. So we should really keep in mind we not just talk about software and pieces and hardware, but we are delivering something to our customers, and they are that living part of the ecosystem. Let's go now and have a look to the software ecosystem, a definition of that. And I was kind of surprised when I was going around in the internet. Of course, first check is the wiki pages. And we do not really find the definition of a software system, but first what I find is a book, which is called Software Ecosystems, which is good. But at the end, we have not yet made it in a way to explain what a software system really is. So there's an opportunity for us, for every single vendor here, but I would even say for us as a standardization gremium. When we talk about collaboration, in former times, we were talking about all the nice protocols, and being in a standardization gremium, of course, we need to talk about the protocols because we need to standardize them. But in fact, we should have a closer look what collaboration is really all about. It's not just the wireless protocol here, it's not just IP there, version 4, version 6. It's not voice over LTE. There's more to it. There's social collaboration, there's the Internet of Things. There are a lot of capabilities which are there for us, they are waiting for us, and we should really embrace them. And in fact, it's no longer just a single thread we should walk down, but it's a combination of multiple things which are working together as an ecosystem, right? And so when we talk about the new way to work, I personally would recommend no longer just talk about the new way to work, but about an ecosystem where a lot of things are coming together, including the living part, the end user. So I would say it's time for a reality check. We have to really understand what we are doing today. With unified communications, all the vendors were trying to go down a specific route to make the world better, to unify the communication. which we were able to achieve to a good extent, but at the end, everybody was talking its own language, providing its own solution, and not really taking care about getting things together. Of course, we were engaged in standardization, but at a very low level. So, what's about the new way to work? Are we probably going and making the same, I don't want to say faults, because you don't know before you haven't started, right? But are we going to get into the same pitfalls? I would say no. Therefore, we are here together and trying to really understand the bigger picture. What I believe is really important for us here, and I've seen a lot of good stuff this morning. We should stop thinking in silos and vendor silos. Sometimes not that easy, but yeah, for the WebRTC for me is a very good example. WebRTC version 1 was kind of still following the old patterns. Everybody tried on its own to get certain things done. With the upcoming 2.0, hopefully we all together get together and think about how to provide great collaboration for our users, for our customers. What's also important, we really need to engage in standardization, not just because of making the protocols working together or defining nitty-gritty details of the protocols, but really we should think in the patterns, in the use cases. So in this morning when we were listening to the SDN, I was happy to hear that this is also about the use cases. You talk about more about use cases than about nitty-gritty details. They have to follow, that's fine, that's clear, it's understood. But when you think about the user and the use cases, and you put the user into the center of it all, then I think we're on the right track. And I think also important, we all together, we have to broaden our horizon. And I will give you an example why. We are here together talking about collaboration, communication. But let's have a look to the big world. What is the big world doing? Who else is talking about the new way to work? And you will be, maybe you are surprised, maybe not, because you as a private person are facing that day by day. Those workplace vendors here, they are very close to us, or we can call ourselves workplace vendors. There are a couple of others. Let's give an example. Those who were kind of going to create printing machines forever. They had to learn that this is kind of something which is no longer going to happen that way. So printing, scanning, document management has achieved a new level. And everybody who is kind of engaged in that workplace environment, and we are as well, we are in that transformation, in that change. We understood there is a lot of things going on. Now, you might think that guy is stupid. I'm talking about furniture companies now. But in fact, there are furniture companies that are talking about a new way to work. Does it have to do with software? Maybe, maybe not. But I'll give you an explanation here. Companies like ours are changing. A lot of people are now working from home. They have different working styles. They're working while being in a car. So the need for certain furnitures in the offices, in the office spaces, is a completely different one. So now you can think about office planning, and now you get closer to computer, to the digital work. So you can nicely spin a new story where you can include a lot of that stuff coming from those companies into the new way to work ecosystem. Transport, just mentioned the car. People leveraging their mobile devices, whatever stuff they have in a public transport environment, in their cars, they're using a heads-up display for certain things. They have 10-inch or even larger monitors in their cars, and they do collaborate there. So this is something which we sometimes already incorporate and embrace. So for instance, in October, I was speaking about the ability to collaborate in a car and leveraging speed of the car, weather information, traffic jam information to make the driving more safe, right? But I think there are still huge opportunities which we as collaboration vendors can include into our thinking and into the whole ecosystem. And finally, consultancy. So consultancy, what consultancy? For instance, work-life balance. People who are now used to always play and work with the mobile phones, they might have a hard time to just let it go, just to leave it on a table and do something with the family. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if people here in our room would have or will have or have that kind of challenge with their families. That's how right now life is going. You are kind of focused to your work, all the time you're working, and you need to take a step back. And we as collaboration vendors can do a lot about that. So just think about those bracelets, those wearable devices you have in order to kind of help to, for body shaping, fitness. They tell you when you have to take a nap in order to be powered up again. And wouldn't it be nice if that device would tell you, hey, Jan, tomorrow morning you have a very important presentation at IMTC. You should now stop working on your emails. You should go to bed. Why not? Right? It's a simple thing, but it's a very helpful and powerful thing if we leverage that in the right way. So there's a huge opportunity for us. Now going back to standardization, what can we do from a standardization point of view? How can we help to get this better? First of all, and therefore we are here, engage in standardization. So probably everybody here understood that already, but this presentation as well is of course thought and meant to be a kind of instrumentum which is then seen on the web where others are interested in and have a look to. So of course we need to clearly tell we all together should engage in standardization. We should leverage context. Context is really, really important because all the information around you, around us, around a specific person in a specific situation can help to make collaboration in this particular case more important, more powerful, and more natural. Those wearable devices, I would say that's a nugget. We just understood that there's something coming up at the horizon, right? And Google Glass, the iWatch, and I could count a lot of things through and talk about them. All those things will help to really create, I would say, a new way of collaborating and connecting the personal life with the business life. With that, I think it's clear we should go just beyond technology. Technology is great, no problem, but there's more. And we are able to broaden the market for us, the addressable market, which means there's a bigger space to play. There are more opportunities for us to play together. And at the end, it's really about leveraging the crowd, leveraging the power of our brains here in the room, but as well in the market, in order to get things done, right? As I said last year in Portugal, it's great to compete against each other. But I think it's a balance between competition and working together and get things right. With that, I would like to finish my presentation, and not just the people here in the room, but really ask everybody to join us here at IMTC, to make standardization real and work for our customers. Thanks. Questions?
Some time for questions, so don't be shy.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Anurag from HCL Technologies. This is actually the first time that we are attending the UCIF or the IMTC annual meeting, and we've become a member this year. So thanks. So my question really is for companies like us, which are mostly focused towards engineering services, and we don't create products on our own, right? What is the right way for us to get engaged in standardization? Is it really more active participation in the task groups, or what kind of support do you need? Because we really have big engineering workforce working globally. So I would like to understand how we can contribute to this.
So I'm happy to answer, but I also think maybe Anatoly, you want to take a step on that? No? Okay. So from my point of view, my personal point of view, having the experience out of Unify, out of FastViewer, we as companies need additional brains, need ideas, need knowledge, need skills in that big play. This play is so big that a single company, a single vendor cannot really achieve all the goals I was just talking about. So therefore, you, in your role as a company providing your skills, your expertise, your resources, are a very important piece of the puzzle. Of course, you on your own also cannot change the world, right? But vendors like, let's say, the big ones, the big players, leveraging your guys, your ideas, your skill sets, leveraging the crowd, we can get to much better innovations, much better solutions than just a single company would be able to do. I think a very important keyword here is co-innovation. That means that you're leveraging people from the outside, right?
Okay. All right.
Okay, other questions? Okay.
So if not, then again, thanks a lot. And I was not speaking about any portfolio element of us today, but just the last slide. Just want to remind you that the next week, after next week, we are going to launch Ansible, October 28th. So yeah, join us if you want to. Okay, and that's as well an ecosystem. You are happy invited to integrate, to join, to participate. Okay, thanks a lot.